What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Now, look, y'all, I gotta be honest on this channel, okay? When I say things, when I say this in particular, this is not me having sour grapes because I didn't like how the Chicago media built Jimmy Butler up in order to tear Derrick Rose down when he was here in Chicago playing with the Bulls. This isn't about any of that, right? This is me watching the game of basketball and watching these games and observing what I'm really seeing. I'm sorry to tell a lot of y'all, Jimmy Butler is still vastly overrated. And I'm not saying he's overrated to me. He's overrated, like, for sure. The way the sports media, the way they're comparing him to, like, Dwayne Wade. You know, when Dwayne first started playing with the Miami Heat in his early stages, in his prime stages with the Miami Heat. Like, throughout the duration of the playoffs and before this series started, like, people have been just, the sports media, the television media in particular, have been ranting and raving about Jimmy Butler as if he should be neck and neck with Dwayne Wade as far as all-time great status. They're talking about him as if he's the second greatest player to ever play with the Miami Heat franchise. And to me, if you're trying to compare that brother to Dwayne Wade, a man who won a chip in his third season, okay, y'all got to knock it off. Yes, it's a great feat that them boys have been, they were a play-in team and they got all the way to the NBA Finals. Spectacular feat. Here's my problem, right? They're holding Jimmy Butler to superstar status, but they're not holding him accountable for such things, right? He's the only guy that they deem as a superstar who can underperform in games, game after game. Like, he don't have to be consistent in the NBA playoffs. And they let it go right over their shoulder. They give it a pass like it's nothing. Like, I've seen several games throughout the playoffs where he's mediocre to very average. In playoff games where they was like, come on, dog. Especially in the Boston Celtics series. And nobody batted an eye about it. Everybody just like, oh, it's okay, it's cool. And I don't get that because when the Heat win, they brag about him like he is the second coming of Dwayne Wade. Like, he is a top 3 player in the league. When they lose and he plays bad, nobody says anything. And I'm like, what are we watching the same game? So in Thursday's loss against the Denver Nuggets, Jimmy Butler racked up 13 points on 6 of 14 shooting, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. Y'all, the media has talked about Jimmy as if he is a tier 1 superstar player. If any tier 1 superstar player had a performance like Jimmy Butler had in that first game of the NBA Finals, I guarantee you they would get crucified and obliterated in a heartbeat. Okay? Your superstar player, tier 1 superstar player, should not have 13 points in an NBA Finals game, especially the opening game that sets the tone for the series. That is not okay. I don't care how, they were a play-in team and all that. No, if you're going to talk about him like he's a tier 1 superstar, he has to be held to the same type of standard. But he's not, which proves that he's not a superstar. Because if Stephen Curry, if Kevin Durant, if Giannis Antetokounmpo, if Joel Embiid, if LeBron James have a game where they score 13 points in the first game of the NBA Finals, people are going to rake them through the coals. Like, this is not going to be pretty either. They're not going to let them live that down. Like, dog, how you in the biggest, this is the finals, and you got 13 points, and then your team got mollywopped? What are we doing, right? Now, this isn't the only game where he's had terrible or mediocre performances. I'm not just picking on him, and to show y'all I'm not picking on him, I got proof to back it up. In the Game 7 against the Boston Celtics, the brother had 28 points. Great. On 28 shots. Terrible. Now, they got the win, so he gets a pass for it. Cool, right? Y'all got the win. It was a terrible shooting performance, for sure. It's not superstar-like. But anyway, we're going to go back to another. Game 6 against the Boston Celtics. The brother had 24 points on 5 of 21 shooting. 5 of 21. And people let it ride. They lost that game, too, and that's when they let Boston tie the series up with them after they were up 3-0. They lost that game. Jimmy hit like a big, he was hitting big shots down the stretch, and he hit 3 free throws, so everybody just forgot about it. But he had like a big shot and another layup or something, so they forgot about it. But 5 of 21 is abysmal, dog. If he plays like a superstar for real and hits shots and doesn't miss, He was playing horrible till like the last 2 minutes of the game. If he plays good like a superstar is supposed to, they win that series and close it out earlier, right? Now the game before that, game 5, he against Boston Celtics, he had 14 points on 10 shots. Jimmy was out there. He wasn't even looking at the rim. I'm talking about looking timid, looked like he was scared to shoot. Passing up open layups. That's not what a superstar does. And nobody really made a big deal about it. They let him get away with it. They like he'll have games like this. This is what Jimmy does. He'll have 2 big performances in the playoff series. And they'll win the games. Then for the rest of the series, he'll be mediocre to average, right? And people will rant and rave about what he did in the first 2 games or the 2 games that he played extremely well. A superstar player is expected to perform well night in and night out, especially during the playoffs, especially during playoff time. They're not expected to take breaks and have trash games here and there and all of that. If LeBron James would have had them type of games, they would have criticized him and got on his ass. If Kevin Durant played like this, they getting on his head. If Steph Curry played like that, they getting on Steph's head. But with Jimmy, it's like, oh, it's okay. It's Jimmy. And I know why it is. It's because Jimmy Butler overachieved. He overachieved in his career. He exceeded expectations for a guy who was drafted to be a role player. When he was with the Bulls, he was drafted to be a role player. He turned into a guy who's an all-star, perennial all-star caliber type player. And people were so impressed by that they are just making him be bigger than what he is. They're making out his performances like he had 2 great games and now he is the surefire Hall of Famer, first ballot. Now, granted, it's easy to be a Hall of Famer in basketball. It really, really is, right? But people will make it seem like he is on tier with LeBron James as a type of great, or like a not even LeBron. They'll act like him and Giannis are the same thing, and they are not. They are not. Jimmy Butler is never going to be a league MVP. He's not, right? So, but the sports media will make it seem like he is. Jimmy is an all-star, not a superstar. There's a difference. Again, when you're a superstar, you're expected to perform night in and night out. However, Jimmy is allowed to have these mediocre performances in big playoff games. The brother let his bad play through games 4 through 6 against the Boston Celtics allowed them to come back into the series. It allowed them to almost they were on the verge of really suffering the biggest meltdown we've ever seen in sports. However, they got the job done in game 7, right? So whatever with that, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But his terrible play helped to extend that series, right? And I say it, I'm getting on Jimmy because, again, they will make you think that him and Giannis are the same thing. They will make you think that him and Kevin Durant in his prime are the same thing. They'll make you think that him and Dwayne Wade are the same thing in their career, and they never were that. They never were alike at all to me. And again, whenever the Heat wins, he gets praised to the heavens. When the Heat lose, he gets the criticism of a small fry basketball player. Okay, they'll say, well, at least he was trying a little bit. You know, he's a little tired from the last series, so that's why he's playing this bad. No, dog. LeBron James could battle against everybody. They don't give a fuck if he's tired or not. If LeBron James fans say he's tired, the media and LeBron James naysayers alike will band together and say, if he's the greatest of all time, he ain't supposed to be tired. He's supposed to push through because that's what Mike would have done. That's what Mike would do. So if Jimmy Butler is supposed to be neck and neck with Dwayne Wade, we're not going to give him no pass for being tired from the last series. We're not going to give him no pass. At least he's trying on. No, dog. You're a superstar. You're going to get held to superstar standards. And you got to perform much better, brother. You know what I'm saying? No superstar player will get that out, that they're tired from the last series. Or, at least he was trying and he was, he's been doing well all throughout the playoffs. Well, he's playing well all throughout the playoffs so long. No. You got to play well when it matters all the time, especially in the finals. Okay? Udonis Haslam, UD trying to get the next chip, brother. He been on the bench being a veteran, not playing, being a secondary coach, being a player coach for real in order to get him a 4th chip. So I'm looking at Jimmy Butler like, is you going to help him get it? We shall see. And I guarantee you the next game after this, he have a big-ass game. And everybody be like, oh, you were wrong. No. Dude bound to have 2 good games in the series and be mediocre the rest of the way. And people will act like they only remember them 2 games. No player I know, only no superstar player gets judged for only their good games more than Jimmy Butler. He's not a superstar. But people want to consider him that. He only gets judged by his good games, his great games. When he not great, nobody say a word, nobody bat an eye. But that, my friend, is why he's not a superstar player. Superstar players get held to superstar standards. He's not being held to superstar standards because he's not a superstar. He's an all-star. Machiavelli Mills TV, y'all let me know what y'all think about the video in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are on Jimmy Butler. Y'all think I'm hating or I'm not? I mean, I don't care if y'all think I'm hating, but I mean, you can tell me though. You know what I mean? We can engage in discourse. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend to tell your baby mama to subscribe to the channel. Peace.